Most cruise passengers dock in Queensferry and weigh 60 pounds on ship excursions to Edinburgh. But today we're going to show you how to get in the city centre for under 15 pounds and build the ultimate do-it-yourself walking tour. From the Royal Mile in Edinburgh Castle to Holyrood Palace, here is exactly how to do Edinburgh on your own terms and budget.
Hi y'all, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Becky.
And together we're cruising good time. So first of all, let's talk about the arrival and transportation around Edinburgh. Your ship is probably going to be tendering in to a town called South Queensferry. It's just a little bit right outside of Edinburgh. And it's right by a very famous bridge. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is the Forth Rail Bridge. Don't waste the $75 a cruise ship's going to charge you for a transfer from South Queensferry into downtown Edinburgh. You can do it for 14 pounds. And the way you do that is as soon as you get off the tender port there, walk to the end of the pier. There's some signage right there. It tells you exactly where to go to the buses, and there'll be a lot of people right there willing to help you and to sell you the tickets and give you some maps, everything you need. Pay for the ticket right there. It cost us 14 pounds. You can use card. We paid cash. They seem to like that better. I don't know. And then just got on the bus, and it's a nonstop run right into St. Andrew's Square right there in downtown Edinburgh.
Boy, we thought the bus was definitely the best way to go. Another benefit is that you can stay longer in the city by doing this instead of taking that one-time transfer to and from the ship. And there's trains available, but the bus we thought was the very best option. We have made a list of Edinburgh shore excursions on Viator. So if this is something you're interested in, please see the link. And for transparency, we get a small amount of money, but you pay the same price.
The key thing to see right there in Edinburgh is the Royal Mile, and it's just a short walk from St. Andrew's Square where the bus is going to be dropping you off. So you just cross over Princess Street, and that's Princes, like plural prince, and not princess, like you sometimes hear it pronounced. Cross that street, and then you go over the bridge right there by the rail station, and that'll drop you off at Cockburn Street. You follow that curve up the hill, and then you're on the Royal Mile right there. From that point, you can turn to the right, walk up the hill to the Edinburgh Castle, or you can turn to the left and you walk down the hill to Holyrood Palace.
Boy, this street is so incredibly amazing. Walking down it, there's amazing shopping and pubs and restaurants, really lots of things to do. And we've seen some great street entertainment there. Yeah. We've seen some pipes going on. And we've also seen some dancing. But this is like a glorious street to walk down. So we recommend that you take a right and start heading toward Edinburgh Castle. We are doing a whole series on the British Isle cruises. If you would like to join us on this adventure, please subscribe now.
As soon as you turn to the right and start heading up towards the castle, there's St. Giles Cathedral right there. You can't miss it. It's a magnificent building. It's been around for 900 years, and we really encourage you to go inside.
It is breathtakingly beautiful inside, and so much history has occurred here. It is the High Kirk of Scotland, and it's considered the mother of Presbyterianism.
It is just gorgeous inside. We spent probably an hour walking around in it because we're just taken in with all the artifacts, the beauty and the majesty of it and all that. It's free admission. They do encourage you to donate them 10 pounds for upkeep and whatnot, and we thought that was a really good deal for us.
So one of the things that you will see on the Royal Mile are different closes going off to the side. And a close is really just an alleyway. However, they are private property. And one of the very famous ones is Mary's King's Close. And they have different experiences that you could buy a ticket and go to. For those who are more interested in the macabre, there are tours that go into the underground and go into the legends and tales of the dark parts of Edinburgh history. One of the things you have to see off of the Royal Mile is Victoria Street. So it is amazingly colorful with these fabulous buildings and this gentle curving road. And many of the Harry Potter fans consider it the inspiration for Diagon Alley. It is just an incredibly picturesque, beautiful street.
Yeah, and it's real easy to get to. And like Becky said, do it sometime it fits in your schedule with all your time tickets and whatnot. But as you're heading up the Royal Mile towards the castle, You take a left right there at King George IV Bridge, and that's right by the Radisson Hotel if you need a little eye marker to find it. And then you just cut around there, and it's the first right past the hotel, and you can't miss it. It's all these brightly colored painted buildings and everything. Just a really lot of fun to walk around.
One of the main attractions on this street is a shop called Museum Context. I find this very odd name.
Yes.
At one point it was called like a Diagon sells, but it is a shop that can sell licensed Harry Potter goods. And it's very popular. There will be a queue outside of people waiting to go inside the store.
Yeah, you can't miss it because of the queue as well. And I think it is, I agree with you, it's a funny name. We need more context about Museum Context. Anyway, as you go down Victoria Street, you'll walk right past it. We walked by it twice. There's a line there both times. But at the bottom of Victoria Street, there's a little plaza there, some pubs and restaurants. If it's a pretty day, you can have a glass of beer or a little food out there in that area. When we came back up Victoria Street, we had a wonderful lunch at HOWIES right there. It was recommended to us by the shopkeep over at the Scotch Experience. We're going to tell you about that in a second. But it was great food.
It was incredible, and not a horrible deal. I think we may have been the only Americans that were in there, which is a plus. But the food was fabulous. I think we had 2 different courses for around 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And I had some amazing smoked salmon and some hake. That was fabulous.
So I had the Cullen skink, which was a chowder made out of smoked haddock and potatoes and leeks. It was absolutely delicious. And then I had the wild venison casserole, and that was outstanding as well. Really a great meal.
Yeah, it was incredible. And then we had English toffee pudding. Can't go wrong there.
That's right. And the really fun thing about it was that they set us up with a Scotch flight tasting as well. So they had some Scotch flight tasting. We had 3 little tastes of different scotches, and they gave us some explanation about it and all that. And that was fun. It just added to the whole experience right there.
Yes, we had an incredible meal. This was just absolutely fabulous. For those of you who love really great Indian food, there is a Dishoom's in town.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and it's right at St. Andrew's Square, right by where the bus picks you up and drops you off, so it's easy to get to that way as well.
We mentioned there were wonderful shops on the Royal Mile, but really the big thing for me is there's shops where you can buy Harris Tweed. Yeah. So Harris Tweed is a very famous Scottish tweed. It has very high quality. I bought my gloves at this huge shop called the Tartan Weaving Mill and Experience. They had so many amazing goods there.
They had a huge selection. I mean, that shop was huge. It had all sorts of different tweeds, and of course they had a lot of Harris Tweed right there, which is the one you really want to look for. You can tell Harris Tweed because it has a very unique branding on it. It has a Maltese cross on top of an orb. And if you look for that on the garment somewhere, you'll know you're getting Harris Tweed.
And an important tip is that although Harris Tweed is made at some of these outer islands and some of the ports you'll stop at, Edinburgh has the very largest selection of the Harris Tweed. So if you're looking to buy some, this is a great port to do it at.
So right across the Royal Mile from the Tweed store is the Scotch Whisky Experience. And that is a huge experience to go to if you like Scotch whiskeys. They have various things to do there. They have a restaurant where you can have a meal and they pair it with different flights of scotches. They have the Scotch Whisky Experience, which is a paid activity that you do different tastings, learn about the scotches. That has various pricing based on the level of scotch that you want to try. But what we did didn't cost anything. We just walked around the store. Fabulous, very knowledgeable staff right there that really help you out. And at a flavor wheel, all sorts of things to do right in there and just kind of take that in.
Yeah, and an important tip is that they have these little tasting bottles that you can get through TSA and take them on the flight with you to go home so you can do your own little tasting experience. There is also the Johnnie Walker tasting experience. What's really cool about this is that they have outdoor cafes and you have fabulous views. And what I really thought was cool is they actually have Michelin star food tasting and Scotch pairing experience. I love the idea of going to a Michelin star activity for this.
And you can find that Johnnie Walker Experience on Princes Street. It's right at the very end of it, and you'll have a great view of the castle looking up on the hill from that area as well. Another thing that our daughter and son-in-law discovered when they were in Edinburgh is sometimes it's easy to just get a tasting in a bar. You go in there, you start talking to the barkeep about different scotches and all this, and they can sometimes set you up with their own little private tasting, if you will, of what you may be looking for in different flavors. And they're more than happy to talk about it. Everybody I've met in Scotland is very proud of the Scotch whiskey, as they should be, and they're more than willing to help you find the one that you like.
That brings us to the #1 attraction in Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Castle. It sits atop an extinct volcano, and this is one of the oldest fortresses in Europe. It has been around since the Iron Age.
It's absolutely amazing, and it's beautiful too, and it's quite huge. There's so much to see inside the castle. The Royal Palace, you have the Great Hall, and you have St. Margaret's Chapel.
St. Margaret's Chapel is a must-see. It is the oldest building that's still standing in Edinburgh. It also has the Honours of Scotland, which are the Scotland crown jewels. These are not included in every ticket, so if this is something you want to see, be sure to buy the correct ticket.
There's a lot of other things to see there as well. They have a whole armory right there. You could go walk the ramparts around the castle. It's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and a great way to get your steps in.
If you're there in August, if you're going to be in Edinburgh in August, a key thing to check out, if you have the time and works in your schedule, is the Royal Military Tattoo. That is quite the extravaganza. That has a lot of marching, bands playing, fireworks. Everybody I've talked to that's done the Royal Tattoo really has enjoyed it, but it happens kind of later at night. It's 9:30 at night. And so your ship has to be able to accommodate that schedule. And a lot of times the cruise ships will do some late nights in Edinburgh to accommodate some shore excursions that go see the Royal Military Tattoo.
The castle also includes the Scottish National War Museum. And this has many, many different factors to it that you could go look at on the website.
A fun thing to do if you're there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, every day except for Sundays or national holidays, they have something called the 1 o'clock gun. They fire a cannon off at 1 p.m. every day.
Our daughter supplied this footage of that. A very important tip is that you need to purchase your tickets far in advance. Just go online to the website and pick out which option is best for you.
You'll want to book this very early in advance, like several weeks in advance if you can, because they will sell out, whether you're using a shore excursion, you're working directly with the castle, and we'll have that link below for that, or if you're using an independent tour such as Viator.
Next, let's talk about the other fabulous sites at the other end of the Royal Mile. So Scottish Parliament is located down there. It has a really cool building. Yep. And it's fabulous that it is free to get inside. You can do a guided tour, a self-tour, or just go check out the business at hand.
And right there at the very end of the street is Holyrood House Palace, which is one of the royal palaces belonging to the king. He does do some residency there just about every summer for a week or so. You can go do tours there. The royal apartments there are just great to go check that out.
If you're a history buff, Mary, Queen of Scots lived here, and this is where she saw her private secretary murdered by her husband and his friends. In fact, Queen Mary's bedchamber has been considered one of the most famous rooms in Scotland. And you can get tickets here for around $30. We'll leave the link down below. The next attraction I wanted to bring up is not located on the Royal Mile. It is the Royal Yacht Britannia. And this was Queen Elizabeth's yacht. If you watched The Crown, you saw how much she loved it, and this is one of her very favorite places to be in the world. So it's been retired here, and you can take various tours on it. In fact, they even offer an afternoon tea for small groups. I would love to have afternoon tea aboard the Britannia. Now, getting here is not quite as easy as it is to get to the Royal Mile.
A little far to walk. You can take a taxi. There's also some trams that'll take you down there and back. Some cases you may have just a short excursion to go there. If you happen to be on a small expedition class cruise ship, you may dock next to the yacht right there in downtown.
The bus ride between the port and city center is about 30 minutes. So we selected to catch the bus 2.5 hours before the last tender was leaving. And we think we were probably on the conservative side. We could have stayed a little longer in town.
Yeah, easily. And when you're leaving, It's real easy to just walk right back, kind of retrace your steps back over to St. Andrew's Square right there. You'll cross Princess Street. Princess Street is just another great shopping venue up and down there. They have a lot of different shops up and down there. So if you have some extra time, you want to do some window shopping, it's something else to do.
If for some reason you're having any troubles catching a bus, you can just catch a taxi cab as plan B to get back to the ship. We hope you've enjoyed this video.
And please subscribe right now so you don't miss any critical cruise information. We have a whole playlist on the British Isles and help you plan your British Isles trips accordingly. And we have several other playlists out there from around the world to help you plan any cruise you're looking on.
Until next time, have a cruising good time.